I'm doing this video to talk to all of these young brothers out here who are standing in front of the foreign-owned stores and the red and white chicken places. I'm doing this video to let you guys know the asking for change from complete strangers. It's not a good look for you, and you need to stop doing it. You may think that it's cool for you to walk up to a complete stranger and ask them for change, but what it shows adult men like myself is that you don't have any life skills, you don't have any social skills, and that your mind is not in a good place. The only people who stand outside of a business to beg for change are usually homeless people who are, these are desperate people. When it makes no sense for you to do this, because when people like myself see you wearing a pair of $200 sneakers, a $1,000 leather jacket, and holding a $500 iPhone, yet you ask a man for a quarter, the thought that goes in our mind is there something mentally wrong with this black male? Is there something wrong with this individual? Does he have a mental health problem? And because this type of behavior, it's bum behavior. It is behavior that a desperate person like a homeless person would participate in. And you have a grown man who's living with his parents in a lot of cases, or a grown man who it's disturbing to watch, because you have a grown man who is dressed up in expensive clothes, expensive sneakers, and he's begging for a quarter or a dollar, and he doesn't understand that this is not a good look for him. It says that he has no life skills, he has no social skills, he does not know how to navigate the world around him, and it's not a good look. I mean, any man who is dressed like this would not knows not to have the audacity to beg another man for change. A man who knows how to navigate himself through the world, again, doesn't beg for change. He goes out and he works for dollars because he knows that time is money, and every second he spends begging people for change is time he can use to work for dollars and have dollars for himself. And I look at this trend of black males just standing around in front of a foreign-owned store. It makes absolutely no sense to me. The fact that you're standing out, you get up in the morning at 8 o'clock in the morning to go stand up in front of somebody else's business and watch the world go by as this person makes money. It shows that you, again, have no understanding of how the world works. You're going to stand outside of somebody's store or somebody's chicken place and watch him make money when you could take that exact same time and make that money for yourself. That shows that you have no understanding of how the world works. You have no life skills. And the fact that you're begging for change, begging for a quarter. I mean, I've run into this several times when I'm trying to take care of my own business. You're begging for a quarter or a dollar. This is not what a grown man does. This is not what a man does. And I've seen so many black men doing this, and I've seen some Hispanic men do it too, but mostly it's black men doing this and participating in this type of behavior, that it hurts my heart to see it, because I want to see, you don't think, I don't, this is sad to see black men behaving in such a way, just sitting here, yo brother, can I get a dollar? Can I get a quarter? Some of them give you a sad story talking about they need 50 cents to get on the bus. Then there's other ones trying to get swipes, selling swipes on the Metro cards and the train station. And again, it shows me that these men have no understanding of how to survive in the world. They have no understanding of how to build life skills. They have no life skills whatsoever. They don't know how to just walk in someplace and ask, "Hey, my name is so and so, and I'm interested in looking for work. How do I go about applying for a job?" Or, "Do you have any jobs available?" I mean, that it's as simple as that. Just going into a fast food restaurant or any other business and doing that. These guys don't know how to do that. And they don't even know they can make twice as much money than they would begging for change. I mean, if I see a guy wearing a $1,000 jacket, carrying a $500 iPhone, and wearing a pair of $200 Air Jordan tennis shoes, and he asks me for a quarter, it tells me that this guy has poor money management skills. And he has no social skills. He has no ability to understand how to do things. I mean, this is what we called 30, 40 years ago, we called this bum behavior. And we have a lot of black men running around acting like bums. And they think it's a good look. They think it's cool. And because a few people feel sorry for them and give them change, they think this is perfectly normal. This is not normal behavior. This is dysfunctional behavior. I mean, a lot of, I know what I've had on one of my blogs, I had a woman come to my blog saying that, oh, you shouldn't say this about these men. You're being too critical of them. No, they need to hear this stuff because this is what bums do. Bums have to beg for change because they're desperate. Watching a black man who has everything that looks like in his hands go out and beg for change is embarrassing. And we as black people need to be embarrassed for these black males because these black males are not learning the skills that are going to help them function in the world. And this is an example. These actions, these behaviors show me that these black men have not learned the social skills and survival skills that are going to enable them to go out in the world. Because a man who can go out and make a living is not going to get up in the morning at 7 o'clock to go stand outside of somebody else's store and beg for the change. No, he's either going to be opening his own business to work for his own dollars, or he's going to go to that store and ask for a job to go work for dollars. And if that store doesn't want to give him money, then he's going to stop standing out in front of it because he understands his time is money. And I look at a lot of things, especially with a lot of single mothers, what they do is they enable these dysfunctional behaviors in their sons. And this type of behavior, I'm telling you, single mothers, right now, this is hurting the sport. He is not going to be able to navigate life when he gets older. Because I've been out here when I'm doing my business, you know, doing book promotions, running my business errands, and taking care of other business. And I see these guys out here, and it saddens me to see these young black males like this because I would rather see these black males working in a fast food, working in a Target, working any place, rather than standing on a street corner and outside of somebody else's business or out somebody else's apartment building, getting involved in foolish behaviors, bum behaviors like this. This says that this child has no ability to do for self and does not understand how to do anything for themselves. And it basically says that the parent has failed. When your child is begging for change, it's embarrassing. Now, I have seen this even when I was 14 years old. I was going to buy a pizza pie from this pizza parlor, and this young guy just rolls up on me, and he says, "Can I get a quarter for a video game?" And it showed me, and I said no to him, and he wanted to fight over it. And again, it showed me that he had no life skills. Now, when I was about 7, 8 years old, I was into video games and stuff like that. Now, once I finished playing my quarters, that was it. My mom would give me quarters, my dad would give me quarters for my allowance, and it'd be like, if I played this quarter, I understood that I had lost and it was time to move on. This guy, at 14, I understood that, look, you're asking me for a quarter? And I said to myself, because I didn't understand it back then, I was really upset over it. And it bothered me for a long time. But now I understand that I can use this as a teaching tool. You're asking a grown man, another man for a quarter, instead of you saying, look, I lost, I'm about to lose, and it's time for me to move on. What was even crazier about it is the guy had the audacity to ask me for quarters for all of his friends as well. It was crazy. And you look at this was back in 1988. And I look at black males since then over the last 25, 30 years, and the behavior has actually gotten worse. And for you to beg for a quarter, that's the way I looked at it. You don't understand that you coming from the position of a beggar is a position of weakness. And when you come from the position of a beggar, you wind up getting what's given to you, and people have a right to say no. And you cannot get upset when people say no. And I've run into this too, where some of these black males, when you tell them, sorry, I don't have it, I can't give it to you, they get upset and start making comments and start trying to argue with you. Because again, this is from the single mother household they were raised in. This is the behaviors and responses that their single mother goes through when they can't get their way. This is how they act out. And these boys don't know how, because I've done a lot of paperback and ebook sales over the years, and and submitting books to different publishers, so I understand what rejection is. I understand it takes a lot of no to get to yes, and you're going to be hearing a lot of no. But with a lot of these guys, they don't understand how to deal with life, and they don't understand what the word no means, and they don't understand they don't understand that there are certain behaviors you don't participate in. And this is one of the lessons I learned from that pizza parlor incident way back in 1988. And what I'm trying to teach right now in this video is that, this is bum behavior. And when your kids engage, and your kids or your young black males engage in this type of behavior, it's detrimental to them. It's saying to them saying to people that you're a weak black man, that you don't understand how to navigate through life, you don't know how to solve your own problems, you don't know how to take care of yourself, and you're participating in desperation behaviors. I mean, if you can beg for change for a video game, or you're begging for change just to get some weed or whatever, it says that you were not raised well, and that you don't know how to function in life. You don't know how to navigate life. I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking for something if you need it, but if you see a guy wearing $200 sneakers, $150, $160 jeans, $1,000 leather jacket, carrying a $500 iPhone, jewelry all over, and he comes and asks you for a quarter, what does that say about him? I mean, and the fact that he's standing outside of somebody else's business, some Arab-owned red and white chicken place, or some Dominican, or no, Dominicans really don't let you stand outside of the store, but Arab-owned or other Indian-owned grocery store for hours on end, just hours on end, because I've seen this. I would get up and go do my errands or take care of my business, and at 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock, the same guys are there. And on Saturdays, they're there all day long sometimes. And it's the same thing. It's just get up 7 o'clock in the morning to go stand outside of a place. It's a waste of, I mean, it shows that you have no concept of time, no understanding of time. And it shows that you really don't value your time. And because this is, again, time is money, and the time you take to beg for change is the time you could take to work for dollars. And I repeat that because I really want black men to understand this. I mean, begging for a quarter when you can make $1 is not a good use of time. You want to effectively use your time to make money for yourself, not beg for somebody's change. You want to work for dollars and get those dollars that way. And that's one of the things I try to do with my publishing and my books. And one of the things I want to try to do to encourage black men is to talk to them like this, because they need to be talked to. Because the fact that you stand outside of a store, stand outside somebody's business, it says that you don't value yourself. I mean, if you really value yourself, you're going to go inside of that business and you're going to ask for a job. And if they don't give you a job, you're going to stop standing outside of there, because that's a waste of your time. Your time is something you can't get back. Time is extremely precious. And again, you can't get it back. And once you lose it, it's gone. You lose that day. And that's one of the things I hate to do, is lose time. I hate to lose days, because that's losing money. And this is a concept black men need to understand, especially these young brothers standing outside of these stores and these chicken places. And it's embarrassing to watch black men do this. And a place where there's so much opportunity, and just so many opportunities out here for you to watch you stand out there, it saddens me, because it shows that, somebody screwed up somewhere, and you guys have to get this right. I mean, these red and white chicken places, these guys are making money on you, and they're making because when you go in there and buy your 2 piece or you go and buy your 40 ounce, that man is going home with your money. This is money you could have had, and then there's more money you could have made. And the whole thing is, you wasted time with you could have made money while this guy's making money. This guy's making money, and you're out here just taking crumbs from the table, whatever scraps people have. And the other thing I mean, because I see this all the time. I mean, standing outside there. And then the other thing I saw, because I was going doing some other errands. The guy was standing outside of a bank holding a door, or a guy standing outside of a McDonald's holding the door. Again, it shows that black men don't know how to function in the world. I mean, you go inside of one of these, like I went in the bank, you see all these Hispanic women and black women work, but you see a grown black man standing outside of a store holding a door begging for change. It's disturbing to watch. It shows you that black men, again, they don't understand how to make things work for them. They don't understand how to create things for themselves. Because when I saw that, because I went to McDonald's one day, it was Saturday, we didn't want to cook, so I went to this McDonald's. Guy standing outside of McDonald's holding the door, looking for change, trying to be the doorman. This is the type of what they call that actually in the law is aggressive panhandling, and you can be arrested for that. And I think it's a felony. I don't know if it's a misdemeanor or a felony, but you can be arrested for that. And you can also be arrested for standing outside of that foreign-owned store for trespassing. The black men need to understand that this is the little stuff that people use to put you in jail. And you're going to wind up in jail based on your own actions. And the best thing for you to do is not act this way. The best thing for you to do is try to find ventures to start your own businesses. If you can't find work, if those people won't hire you, then you go look for some other job someplace else. And if you can't find work there, you create some sort of job for yourself. And again, use your time to make dollars. Don't waste your time standing outside somebody else's business, begging for change and getting crumbs from his table. He's going home, he's taking your dollars and going home to a home in the suburbs and sending his kids to college. You need to be making money to send yourself to college or to get your own home. And this is something that, nobody's talking to black men about this, but I've seen black men out here. And it's not a good look when you beg for change and trying to sell Metro card swipes and just doing all sorts of silly stuff and messing up and just wasting your life and wasting your time. You're better than this, black man. You have to start seeing yourself as better, and because the whole thing is that if your life doesn't matter to you, how are you going to get others to see you as valuable? And that's what I really want black men to start seeing himself as valuable, because a man who values himself, I mean, he's understanding that if I have the $500 for this iPhone, or the $200 for this pair of sneakers, or the $1,000 to buy this Pele Pele jacket, or whatever he's buying, he has the same money. He can use that same money to start a business. And he can start using that money to work for him instead of him going out and working for it. The whole thing about that I understand about jobs is you use other person's job to go get yourself a business. And once you get enough skills in a job, what you do is you start your own business. I mean, yeah, you start something on the side if you can, but eventually you want to get your own thing going and be able to take care of yourself. And I'm not seeing that from today's black males. What I'm seeing a lot of is just guys not being able to function in life. I mean, when you see a man dressed to the nines begging for change, or or selling swipes on a Metro card, or even asking for 50 cents to get on a bus, what does that say about black men? It says that the state of black men is not in a good place, because God made the man to be the leader. And when the leader is not fit for duty, and unable to lead himself, how can he expect others to follow him? I mean, it says that this man is not ready to do God's work and be a part of God's order. When this man is unable to lead himself and able to get himself into a situation and where he can lead himself. And I look at black men, I look at the sad state of affairs that we're begging for change and we're standing outside of other people's businesses instead of taking that time and our money to start our own businesses. It says a lot about us. It says that we're not ready for prime time. And this is what I'm seeing from black men just walking around taking care of my own business, that these guys aren't ready for business. And we have to, black men have to start working on themselves because we're the only ones who can take care of ourselves. And I'm telling the other black men out here, you have to start taking care of yourself. You have to start doing better for yourself because, again, you're the only person who can take care of you. And when you're doing stuff like this, I mean, the stuff like I've seen, again, the begging for change, the standing outside of somebody else's business, um, and selling stuff like loose cigarettes and other stuff like that. That's not what a guy does when he's trying to make a living and trying to take himself to the next level. That's what a desperate person does when they either are out of options or they don't understand how to make anything work. Because the way I see it is, especially because there's a lot of these guys I see are like 17, 18, 19, 20, sometimes 25, 30. Um, they don't understand how to make anything work because they're they just don't know how to make anything work and they're frustrated. So they're just taking these desperate measures because they don't know how to make anything work. Because no one has taught them how to make anything work in the job market or how the job market works or how to start their own business. Nobody's taught them how to do any of this. And nobody's taught them how to use tools that are around them like the internet. Yes, the internet is not just for entertainment. It can also be used as a tool to make money and to build wealth. And this is something a lot of black men have not been taught. They just think it's a place for YouTube beefs, Twitter beefs, making thirsty comments on Facebook to women. They don't understand it's also a tool to make money. And there are all these resources around them, but because their mind isn't right, they can't utilize them. And I made this video because I really wanted to talk to black men about these type of behaviors because they're hurting themselves and they're hurting other men out here. Because when one of us acts this way, it affects all of us. I mean, that's the reflexive property of institutional racism, but you can't act like this. And nobody's sitting down with you and telling you that, you know, don't waste your time like this. Don't be participating in behaviors like this because it makes you, again, if you're standing outside somebody's business loitering like this, they can call the police and have you arrested. And stuff like what happened to Eric, unfortunately, like happened to Eric Garner, can happen to you because just because you're standing outside somebody's foreign-owned store and they don't want you there, they can tell you to go away. They can have the police arrest you for trespassing. And if you're doing things like standing outside of the door, opening the door for people for change, they can have you arrested for aggressive panhandling and vagrancy. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because a lot of times these stores have cameras in front of them, so they have video evidence of you participating in these behaviors. I mean, your time is too valuable to waste participating in these kind of behaviors. Your time is precious. I look at it as a God-given gift. And you need to utilize it effectively towards building yourself up and putting yourself first. And I'm just telling you, brothers, just go out there and you're gonna fall. You're gonna hear a lot of no, but it's better for you in the long run for just go out and try to apply for jobs or go out and try to go talk to people and get things done because just standing around, it doesn't help you. And it looks really, really, really bad when you go out and beg for change because black man is supposed to be a leader. He's not supposed to be a beggar. He doesn't beg. He goes out here, he goes out and he achieves things. He sets goals for himself. He sets standards. And we need to start seeing that from black men again. And the only person who can do that for a black man is a black man himself. The only person who's going to make your life matter is you. So I'm urging you guys to stop with this dysfunctional behavior, start participating in functional behaviors. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.